This is just a brilliant piece over at AlterNet. Big lie. America doesn't have richest number one in middle class in the world. We're ranked number 27. Les Leopold wrote it, who's been a guest on this program many times. And he lays out why. In fact, he asks rhetorically why. And here's a starter list. We don't have real universal health care. So, the middle class is paying their health care costs. And even if you have insurance, you're paying twice as much for your health care as anybody else in any other industrialized country does. Even though they pay for theirs through taxes, they're still paying for it, obviously. But they're paying half as much. So you and I are paying an average of, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a year for health care, for health insurance. And everybody else in the world is paying an average of $4,000 to $5,000 a year for health insurance because other countries don't have people like Stephen J. Hemsley, the CEO of United Healthcare, who has taken over $1 billion out of that company. Or his predecessor, Dollar Bill McGuire, who took $1.7 billion out of United Healthcare. They don't have companies like United Healthcare with over 100 executives making over $1 million a year. They don't. It's just, they don't have for-profit leeches fastened to the body politic, or to the body, to the what's the old word for citizenry? There's a bunch of them. I guess the CAPTCHA, well, in any case, they don't have for-profit corporations fastened to all of us. Second is right. Number one, no universal health care. Number two, weak labor laws. Union representation is less than 7% in the private sector in the United States. In most of these other countries, it's anywhere from 30 to 90%. Number three, our minimum wage is pathetic. $7.25 an hour. It's, there are a few places in the United States where you might be able to live on that. But most of the country, no, it's a real challenge. And that puts downward pressure, Les Leopold notes, on the wages of all working people. Number four, Wall Street is out of control. I think Austin and I can even agree on that one. Number five, higher education is throwing our kids into debt. Let me add, when Reagan came into office and began his war on education, the Reagan administration, over the 8 years that he was in there, they cut $17 billion out of the education department's budget. William Bennett, the guy who campaigned on killing the education department, who Ronald Reagan put in charge of the education department. When Reagan came into office, about 80% of all tuition in the country was paid for either by the college or by the state or by the federal government. And so people could go to college relatively cheaply. You could work a summer job and earn enough money, save up enough money to pay for your tuition for the 3/4 of the year that wasn't the summer. And you could, do that for 4 years and graduate with a college degree and no debt prior to 1980. And most people did. I didn't complete college, but when I was going to college back in the late 60s and early 70s, I frankly didn't know anybody who had a student loan, with one exception, a friend of mine who was in medical school. He was in the osteopathic school at MSU, which is, a little more expensive. But student loans back in the 60s and 70s, people were like, what's that? I mean, they were available, but who needed it? My wife put herself through college working as a waitress at Howard Johnson's. I pumped gas. I worked as a DJ. I washed dishes at Bob's Big Boy. I mean, you could put yourself through college doing those things back then. Now, not so much. Instead of 80% of the tuition being paid for by governments or the universities, only about 22% of tuition is paid for by that. And about 80%, 75 to 80%, is paid for by the students themselves. And in order to pay for that, of course, they've got to go out and borrow that money. And by the way, spoiler alert here, July 1st, unless the Republicans in Congress act, the interest rate on those loans is going to go from 3.2% to 3.4% to 6.8%. It's going to double on over $1 trillion in student loans, or on some significant portion of it, over $1 trillion in student loans. Another reason why our middle class is number 27, our tax code favors the rich, not the middle class. The middle class are paying a larger proportion of their income in taxes than rich people do. It's just that simple. Mitt Romney pays a lower tax rate than his secretary does, just like the same with Warren Buffett. Probably true of Bill Gates. You know, it's really interesting. Bill Gates actually, you know what, he donated all that money to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and now they're doing all this wonderful stuff around the world, vaccinating people and whatnot. He actually made a profit on that donation because of the tax law. It actually made him money. It didn't lose him money. And then, of course, big money dominates the media, so you don't hear stories like the one I'm sharing with you right now in any corporate-owned venue. Fortunately, this is a Hartmann-owned venue.